Welcome back to the Brighter Podcast. We are together. Can you believe it?
If you're on YouTube, you can see us together. It's real. We are not splicing the two Zooms. We are actually in the same place at the same time.
And we are obviously very, very excited about that.
And this is episode 26 of the Brighter Podcast.
I think it's 28.
This is episode 28 of the Brighter Podcast. And my name is BatSheva.
And my name is Chelsea.
And my life is so much brighter thanks to Chelsea.
And my life is definitely brighter thanks to BatSheva. We love to come on here and share tools, stories, techniques, our life journey in hopes that some of it can help you along your journey and make your day brighter. And today we're going to be talking about something super bright, bling bling. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, we like to arrive in the space. So if you're somewhere where you can close down your eyes, I invite you to do that. And we're going to go ahead and let all the air out and take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, let everything go. And inhale in through the nose, filling up the belly, the ribs, the chest. Hold at the top for a second, and then exhale out the mouth. Last one, deepest breath. And release. Yeah!
Woohoo!
All right, so today our topic is keeping up with the Joneses. And that was kind of inspired. We had talked about it before, but this weekend, actually this past whole week, this is my 9th day here, I came out for this Brighter Podcast and also for a bachelorette party in Lake Arrowhead, which I highly recommend if you've never been there. It's so beautiful. And I celebrated a dear friend of mine, and kind of the inspiration for keeping up with the Joneses is thinking about engagement rings.
Oof.
Yeah, it's so interesting because whenever I was thinking about getting married, I was like, that doesn't matter to me, like a simple band, like it's not about the ring. And then I found myself the day that I got proposed to with a awesome ring. And also it was a fake ring. Like it was this like costume jewelry, like big, like jellyfish ring, which if you know, the String Cheese Incident is our favorite band. We were in Jamaica seeing them, and I got proposed to on the beach, and that was the ring. And it actually looked just like a brooch that I had, which I actually had on, and I thought it fell off. And then whenever I realized that it was something different, and I had the brooch on my shirt still, and he was down on one knee, I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? What? And then I found myself maybe not in that exact moment because I was shocked, in awe, and excited. But then later I found myself like whenever I was showing people, because another girl had gotten engaged and she's flashing her rock, and I found myself really judging myself and thinking I needed to impress people or have this status or this piece of jewelry that showed how much I was loved, and that was a indicator of my worth. And whenever I think about it now, I'm like, well, that was ridiculous, but also it was so cool. It was like such a neat, artistic, fun idea. And it really was so like he thought about it. And that's what matters. But the feelings of feeling like needing to keep up with the Joneses were definitely there.
I mean, I remember when I was looking with my ex-husband for engagement rings, we were looking together, and we didn't have a lot of money, and we went to the jewelry district in LA, and we looked for affordable in the couple of hundred range, little tiny. And my heart, I'm a Leo. My heart wanted the biggest princess rock ever, but I couldn't ask that from someone, and including myself, who didn't have the means to do that at that time. So we went and I found something pretty with a little sapphire, kind of vintagey looking. And truthfully, it kind of always looked too small on my beautiful big hands, and I never fully loved it as far as like for me. But I mean, I was okay, accepted it. And then my mother, who's super generous, and also she has a lot of jewelry from her mother and her mother. And I think she may have already told me, or she told me after, that she wanted to gift me with her grandmother's engagement ring, which was like a big rock, a big 2 carat rock. And I was, yes, please. So talking about keeping up with the Joneses, I would wear that out. I would be like bling, bling, like, I knew it was on my hand. I was so happy about it. It was that ring that I was proud of. That wasn't the fucking ring that we chose together. That was not our real engagement. That was my great grandmother's ring, but I was wearing it like that was the one he gave me. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. Cut to a few years later, our house was broken into. Not the small engagement ring, but the big one from my great grandmother was stolen, along with like almost all my nice jewelry. And we had an insurance rider on it, but for like a lot. And unfortunately, we were at that point, my ex-husband and I, we always financially up, down, up, down. And at that point, we were at a lower point, and we had to use the rider money towards living expenses, not a
Mm.
replacement ring, which looking back, I should have just fucking got a big ring that I wanted. Well, maybe not. But in any case, that ring is gone, never to be seen again. And I think I was taught a lesson because then I didn't have any rings, even my wedding ring, because my fingers had swollen from being pregnant when we had the break-in. I was out of town. And so my wedding ring was stolen, and this little Tiffany's pinky ring I had with a diamond was stolen.
Mm.
All my bling, I mean, just like kind of in the past 5 years here and there, just for myself, like for Mother's Day or for something, still within the realm of like affordability, but I'll buy myself little things to kind of lift my spirits. But it's definitely no longer about the Joneses. I was brought pretty low because between that theft, it was all the same time that we had someone working for us who stole from us. She actually went to jail for it. She was
Mm.
prosecuted and convicted, and she actually paid some restitution. She stole almost 100,000 from our little small construction business. And so we were wiped out. And I think when that happens, sometimes you guys might relate, you're brought low, and also things get very clear and things get very simple. My husband at the time actually had one of the most connecting times ever in our marriage in the aftermath, because we couldn't see what's in front of us, but we were just both on the same page, like one foot in front of the other foot, in front of the other
Mm.
foot, and all else doesn't matter. We have our children, we have our health, and that was like a correction point for me, definitely, probably for both of us.
I feel like that's kind of we were also, we actually, yesterday got to go to a Vipassana sit up in Topanga Canyon,
Yes.
and which for those of you that aren't aware, that's how we became friends, was going to a 10-day silent meditation, Vipassana meditation retreat. And so being old students now, we got invited to this Sunday sit, and we got to go there. And on the way there is where all the fires were out here. And it reminded me of a dear friend that I had met at a retreat, Heather, and she actually wrote a book called The Science Behind Spirituality. And I had seen that her home in the Palisades got completely burned down, like nothing left. But her and her family were all safe. And so seeing that and then remembering, that is what matters, not to say that it's easy or not hard to lose everything, but kind of,
Yeah, and not to say that we shouldn't want and love and
oh,
treat each other and treat ourselves, right? Like,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, but then there's that double-edged sword because Chelsea and I, we just went shopping today. She's wearing her new dress, and we both love a good shop once in a while. But I also had something happen recently. Chelsea knows the story as far as the sort of keeping up with the Joneses vibe, because in my own life, I'd like to sometimes splurge on myself, and sometimes splurging doesn't mean the money I spend. It just means the item I found. That's more for me. Like, I want that. And sometimes that item costs a little more and sometimes less. And I found myself on a date with somebody I really had a crush on. And he commented on this purse that I actually really love. And it's like really like the best purse. It's cute, it looks snazzy, and it has all the pockets I need, and it's pretty brand new. And he was commenting on it, kind of making a comment that it seemed to him like very high end. He was like kind of implying like I probably spent a lot of money on it. And I just blurted out, "Oh, I spent $13 on this. I bought it at Ross." And after that, I mean, he had no reaction whatsoever. I don't know. First of all, I don't know if that was even kind to him to say. And I think it wasn't kind to myself. Why do I have to give an excuse for something? Can't I just take the compliment or whatever is one thing. But also, after I did it, it was almost I was on this mission to replace that fucking purse with a higher end purse and a better brand. Fucking why? Like, I was just like obsessed with no longer wanting a $13 Ross purse on my arm, whereas I
Mm,
had loved it up until then. So I literally went to Nordstrom Rack where you can get really nice high end purses, but also not as expensive as they might be. Like, so I was looking for that happy medium, but I could not find one. I even bought one purse last week and I brought it home and none of my stuff fit in it. It was like deceptively tiny inside. So I had to return that purse. And then I went again. I've been two other times, once today with you and like even once last week. And there is not a purse like for me. And then Chelsea's like, well, do you like that purse? I'm like, I love this purse. And long story short, I'm back in love with the purse. And I've decided that keeping up with the Joneses part of me can just be washed away. We'll just let it go and just like reinvest in my appreciation of this beautiful purse.
right. And it's not even, it's not even about like keeping up with the Joneses. I think it's a lot about, for me, just recognizing the judgment, like the judgment that I had for other people for wanting those things. All these girls, it's just all about like, what does their ring look like, blah, 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 and showing it off. And I was just like, I would never be that girl. And then feeling the feelings of being that girl,
Mm,
being given the opportunity to know what that feels like and to be wearing those shoes, as my mother would say,
hmm
walking in someone else's shoes, and then feeling kindness and compassion and understanding and just relating to that. And then coming back to deciding what is right for me. Like, why do I want that? Is it something like just like with you with the purse? Is it a good size
hmm
purse? Do I like the purse? Why do I want a new purse? Like today I bought a new suitcase and I was like, ugh, it wasn't something I was excited to buy, but I needed a new suitcase because the other one was like falling apart. And I had also got some other new things, so I needed a bigger suitcase to take home with me. So yeah, just really coming back to why am I doing it? Why do I want it? And listening to your own intuition, your own inner voice, not relying on other external validation or comparison, competition.
And finally, I would also, when I think about keeping up with the Joneses, I started thinking about my kids being in certain schools, or first I was thinking about myself being in different schools where there were a lot of really wealthy, really, really wealthy kids and from crazy wealthy families. And on the one hand, like I was friends with many of them and friends with many other people, and it was like didn't matter at all. And we had like such pure, amazing friendships. But then I could switch gears mentally and sometimes be in my head about it and be wishing and envious and dreaming of my own path to that type of wealth someday and then feeling if I fell short, like super disappointed in myself or my life. And then I think when I got married, it helped to have a partner that we were on the same wavelength. It helped a lot, for me to just let a lot of that go. And then when I would see my kids, that's what I started to say. I see my kids in, especially when they would go to like some of the more higher end private schools. And like, again, just whoa, they couldn't have the same lifestyle, the same vacations, the same clothing that's in style as a lot of their friends. And therefore, or not friends, like classmates, they also couldn't even be as close friends with some of these friends. And that led to some like deep pain, but also I have to say, I was in a way so happy that they kind of remained outsiders. And it was very tough, like those particular years for the two different schools, was just 1 year here and 1 year there. And then what was amazing though is I felt so proud of them. They were working to make their own money, and then they
Mm,
found ultimately it can take time. And that's also just a good reminder for all of us at any age. Like sometimes if you don't feel like you have the people around you, that spouse, that partner, that best friend, who helps you to feel that everything you have, it's amazing and you should want more and desire more. And also everything you have, it's amazing. Like, we
yeah.
need our hype squad, as Chelsea and I like to say. And it's just was thinking about my kids, myself. It's just a reminder that they did ultimately is where I'm going. They did really, I mean, I've seen all of them. Maybe they'll go through it again. They're still young, but they've gone through those phases and they found their people and they found their joy and they found their integrity. And I'm so proud of them. Literally, my older children, my younger one too, but he's yet to go through some of that. But like, I'm really, really like happy to see them healthy. It's mentally healthy, which isn't like a given these days with kids. And I think that has to do with they were able to find peers and peer groups and family probably too, that just doesn't put keeping up with the Joneses as a high priority. No, it's all about who's going to support you, who's going to cheer you on, who's going to see you for who you are and think you're fucking rad. And if you don't have enough people like that in your life, hold off. Better to be by yourself, in my humble opinion, and in my literal 3 years of experience of being pretty much isolated with my kids. Because coming out of my shell, like, oh, she's cool. Oh, he's cool. Oh, we're cool. And it's a revelation and it's amazing. And I had a feeling, I knew it was coming and I knew. And Chelsea would tell me, and I knew it would come. But it's like, to anyone who's still struggling with that, trust me.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yeah. Yeah. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So
keep that vibe, the tribe that you're wishing to attract, that you're calling in.
Amen, sister.
All right. Well, sound good. Shall we wrap it up with our dubs?
We're sharing one chair, by the way.
Yes, this chair is going back further and further. So here we go.
Well, let's explain what we do at the end for people who are just joining us for the first time.
So we're going to go ahead and do our daily W now, which is going to be 1 win, 1 wow, and 1 wish. And since it was my turn to introduce the episode, I do the win and the wow, and then BatSheva will share her wish. So my win for the day so far is that we have had an incredible day. We got up, we slept in, we got our morning routine in, we went to the beach, we swam in the ocean, we came back and showered, and we went shopping together, and then we had a photo shoot, and now we're recording a podcast episode. It's incredible, all that we did. So many wins wrapped into that, which we love to do. And my wow is that I'm just so grateful for this whole experience that I've had in California. I've had a lot of things that came to me that were able to provide some mirrors and some reflection, some self-reflection and some growth, and just spending time with BatSheva and her family. And it's been incredible. It's been the first time that we have not been around all of her kids, which has been a whole new experience. But it's been amazing. And I got to spend the time with the girls at the bachelor party. And I'm just so, so grateful for my life and this experience.
Yay. Totally. Amazing, amazing. Ditto all of that. And also a reminder to please like our episode, like whatever streaming platform you're listening to us on. Make sure you like the Brighter Podcast, subscribe, share, comment, join our Facebook crowd. We really invite the conversation and the tribe and the people. And on that note, as Chelsea said, we met in a 10-day silent meditation retreat 2 years ago, and we have our very first episode, if you want to go back and listen, that documents that journey a little bit. So I'll offer that to you along with all the other episodes. That said, my wish, so many wishes. Well, I'm in a new relationship with a man, and I'm going to wish that our relationship is wrapped in divine love and elevated with divine support, because I believe we as humans in any relationship, we can only do so much, go so far, and we are often tripped up by our memories and echoes of trauma and triggers and patterns, the monkey mind, all the things. We're all human. So my opinion and experience, inviting in the divine is the way to go. And so I'm doing that, and I'm wishing for this new relationship to be just the highest that it's meant to be for both of us and wrapped in divine support.
Amazing. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're so happy to be here and look forward to next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.